Well, welcome everyone to our next breakout session for the PFCC conference. This session is titled Creating a Culture of Safety Together, and we are joined by Children's Specialized Hospital, and I will have the presenters introduce themselves in just a moment. Thank you all for joining us for this breakout session. We're really excited to have our presenters share their work. If you have any questions throughout this session, please place them in the chat box. You can find the chat box along with the audio and video buttons on your Zoom toolbar if you hover over your screen at the bottom or the top. If you have any technical difficulties, please reach out to Stephen Hoy via email at Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, at PFCCpartners, P-A-R-T-N-E-R-S.com, who can help. We will have 10 minutes for Q&A at the end of the session where we will review chat questions, and you will also have the opportunity to come off mute and ask a question. If you would like to come off mute during the Q&A, please use the raise hand button, which you can find by clicking on the participant list. Now, without further ado, I would like to invite our presenters for this session to introduce themselves and begin their presentation. Donna?
Thank you very much, Lindsay, and we're excited to be here today. I'm very proud to be presenting today with both my friends and colleagues, Pat O'Hanlon, our Family Faculty Manager, and Linda Waddell, our Family Faculty. Next slide, please. Children's Specialized Hospital's mission is to be the preeminent provider of specialized health care for infants, children, and young adults. And our vision is a world where all of our children can reach their full potential. Next slide, please. We are the nation's leading provider of inpatient and outpatient specialized health care from children birth through 21. We treat a wide variety of special health care challenges from chronic illnesses and complex physical disabilities like brain injury and spinal cord injury to developmental delays as well as behavioral issues. And some of the services that we see on our outpatient side are autism and mental health. Our unique difference at Children's Specialized is that we partner with families to make our innovative therapy and medical services and treatments more personalized and effective. We have one 68-bed inpatient hospital. We have 2 long-term care facilities. They're similar to pediatric nursing homes. And then we have 13 outpatient centers across New Jersey. And in 2019, we served 38,601 children. And now I'm going to introduce Linda, who's going to talk to you about our patient and family center care program. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Donna. And I'm so happy to be here to present with all of you today. In 2005, we hired our first family faculty staff. We started with 2 per diem staff working 2 to 4 hours a week. These families both received multiple services from the hospital on behalf of their children for many years. As of 2020, we currently have 15 diverse family faculty staff, which includes our very own Donna Provenzano, our Director of Family Centered Care. Pat O'Hanlon, like Donna said, she's our manager. We also have 2 full-time staff, several part-time staff members, in addition to several per diem. So you can see in such a short time how large we've grown over the years. All who have experience with the hospital with a variety of diagnoses and backgrounds to meet the needs of our patient and family population. Our family faculty staff are located at our inpatient hospital, both of our long-term care facilities, and at almost all of our outpatient sites. Family faculty supports both staff, patients, and families. Our philosophy is we are motivated and committed to give back to Children's Specialized Hospital, whose staff supported and helped our own families through difficult times to learn how to care for our own children with special needs and to rebuild our families stronger, as well as offer hope to new families beginning services at Children's Specialized Hospital to reassure them that they have chosen the right place that will embrace their child and family and provide the best care for their child. Our families serve on all committees, from our Board of Trustees, Patient Safety, Infection Control, Clinical Operations, Environment of Care, just to name a few. If there is a hospital committee, you can guarantee a family faculty representative and voice is present. In 2006, our Family Advisory Council became in existence. Our council consisted of our CEO and president, our vice president and chief cultural officer, our director of family-centered care, family faculty, and 15 families and 5 staff members. The key to the success of our council is the meaningful work that they do. Our council creates yearly goals that support and align with our organizational goals and strategic initiatives. It's a real doer group that is committed to helping our organization be the best they can be. Even during COVID, they were dedicated to the work that they do and didn't skip a beat. They transitioned from in-person meetings to Zoom meetings to continue the work and move forward despite the ongoing challenges created by COVID. In 2020, we're excited to share that our council celebrated 14 years. Next slide, please, Lindsay. As a healthcare system, we are part of the larger organization of Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health. Together, we set out on a journey to become a high reliability organization. All of us are committed to safety together tools and behaviors for our patients, families, visitors, and each other. Don't harm me, help me, be nice to me. When talking about speak up for safety, the behavior expectation is that we are going to speak up for safety and speak up and listen when there is a concern. We can escalate a concern by using our ARC tool. Ask a question, make a request, voice a concern, and use the chain of command. Accurately communicate means we are responsible for clear and timely communication. Repeat and readbacks, number and letter clarifications are all techniques that we use to be clear and concise to make sure that we are making sure that we're doing the right thing. Another technique we use is structured handoffs. Focus on the task. I will act with intention and focus. This technique is to pause and focus on the task. Take a STAR moment. Stop, think, act, and review. We exercise a questioning attitude and accept a questioning attitude. I will follow my instincts to a resolution, and I will accept the questions of others. We are also encouraged to ask clarifying questions to validate and verify to assure that we understand the direction or request. And we thoughtfully interact. I will use a sensitive and positive tone in all interactions. We utilize our 5 tones and AIDIT principles, which we will talk about later in this PowerPoint. You and me together. We will look out for each other, and we will be willing to be coached. We will assume positive intent because, as you know, we're all on the same team. Next slide, please. We do daily or weekly safety huddles depending on each department. We huddle for the awareness of immediate problems affecting safety, quality, reliability, and experience at the front line. The components of our board begin with reviewing and sharing the safety data. We review our quality goals. An example of a specific goal that family faculty reviews is our patient and family satisfaction scores. We also review education, we make announcements, we review upcoming events at all the levels, the system, hospital, and department. We give recognition and share good catches. Learning boards are valuable tools for opportunities for improvements, and we designate which team member will follow up on a concern until it's brought to a resolution. Safety huddles are valuable tools enhancing communication and reducing errors. Next slide, please. Our Safety Coach program identifies a staff member in each department, including a family faculty member, that embodies strong communication and educational skills, as well as a commitment to behaviors that reflect our Safety Together journey. Safety coaches attend safety coach orientation and training. They attend monthly safety coach meetings. They model the Safety Together behaviors for error prevention and record observations and interactions. The safety coach assists to build safe, productive habits among coworkers by being a role model to build safety habits. They communicate vital safety information to staff during meetings, special events, and observation activities. They communicate safety concerns to administration through safety coach facilitator and established channels. Next slide, please. Each month, we highlight a tool that has been implemented from our HRO Safety Together training and hear firsthand from one of our employees about why this tool is so important in keeping our patients, families, and one another safe every day. We use the weekly words with our President Warren to spotlight a safety hero. These safety heroes are staff who demonstrate our Safety Together values and error prevention tools in their working environment and are making an impact on improving patient safety. We celebrated our own family faculty member, Luciana Mendez McGuire. She's pictured here with our president, Warren Moore. She's recognized as the safety hero for the month of October by using her Thoughtfully Interact and using the 5 tones. Luciana, by smiling and saying hello, introducing herself and explaining her role, listening with empathy and intent to understand, communicating positive intent of her actions and providing an opportunity to ask questions and relay concerns, was able to build a strong connection with a mom whose child was staying here at our hospital. The mom felt comfortable enough to share her personal struggles. Building this relationship with the mom, Luciana was able to assist mom, which, as we know, impacts the child's well-being. Next slide, please.
And I'd like to introduce you to our family advisory presenters. They couldn't be here with us today, but I wanted to introduce you to Katie and Connor, Elizabeth and Tommy, and Sonia and Izzy. And the 3 of these families, they were lead presenters in our Safety Together in-services. They actually gave in-services to our staff across our organization around one of our tools, and I'm going to share that with you to show you how impactful our Family Advisory Council was in really helping our staff understand the importance of using these tools. Next slide, please. So families and staff as true partners in Safety Together. Our Family Advisory Council members, they created an in-service around our Thoughtfully Interact tool. They were sharing their personal stories, but as it relates to the tool so that they could drive home to our staff the importance of using those tools every day and how much of a lasting impression it has made on their lives. They were able to highlight for staff the importance of consistently interacting and how important those tones were. The families shared their experiences and they were able to open up to our staff. They made themselves vulnerable and their personal experience really highlighted the value and the importance of implementing these tools and having them become day-to-day practices. And just want to share a couple of examples that resonated from the in-services. Sonia's daughter, Izzy, was treated in our rehabilitation center for therapy after she had a tumor dissected from her spinal column. And one of the therapists, when she was very young, had shared a calming strategy and technique. And Sonia, when she was doing this in-service and talking to the staff, reminded the staff that, that was shared 4 years ago, and she's still using that, every night with Izzy. And she never forgets the staff that helped her with that tool to be able to make sure that they know the importance of that. It's just so critical when our families put themselves out there and share these experiences, because I think it really brings back the meaningful work that all of us do. Another example that Katie shared was listening with empathy. She had called our scheduling team to schedule an appointment, and they needed a script for their daughter to come to the hospital. And what the scheduler did was really listen and help Katie understand everything that she needed to have on that script so that we could get that appointment fast-tracked, and then her child would be able to receive services. And then just another example about acknowledgement, Elizabeth shared how Dr. Matthews, when she first saw Ella, got down to Ella's level and said, hi, I'm Dr. Tara, and we're going to come and play. And then she stood up and introduced herself to Mom. So all of these things resonate with our families, and I think when our families can share that, it really exemplifies the importance and the value of using these tools every day, which is one of our behaviors that we all agree to do. Next slide, please. I love this slide because we use this during our in-services just to show that our patients are all somebody's picture person. So, all of us have someone dear to our heart. And when that person receives health care, we want to make sure that they have an exceptional experience. And if we can go back to don't harm me, help me, be nice to me, all of us are responsible for maintaining that safe environment. And I think when you can hold on to the person who's dearest to you and think about that when we're providing our services, I think that it makes that connection for all of us to do our best with each and every moment and every interaction. And now I'm going to turn it over to Pat O'Hanlon, our Family Faculty Manager.
Thank you, Donna. Hi, everybody. As Donna shared, keeping our own personal picture persons close to our heart helps. Oh, please change the slide, Lindsay. I'm sorry. Is it on there? Okay, good. So again, thank you, Donna. As Donna had shared, keeping our own personal picture persons close to our heart, for me, it's my husband and son. It really helps us to thoughtfully interact with the 5 tones and the EDIP principles, and we've listed them here for you. Just to read a couple, smile and say hello when you're meeting a patient or family, or when you're greeting each other daily. Introduce and explain your role. Listen with empathy and intent to understand. Always communicate positive intent of your actions. Provide an opportunity for patients and families or your colleagues to ask questions and clarify. It's so important to acknowledge and welcome and validate patients and families, to introduce yourself, to let them know about anything related to time, if it's a wait time, if it's a report they're going to be waiting for. Explain and listen very carefully to how they understood what you shared, and always to say thank you to families, visitors, and colleagues. And these are all very important to us. And as you can see, it's all about tone, your body language, your complete investment in every interaction with patients and families and with each other. It's one of our high reliability tools, and we all live by these principles. As Donna also shared, our Family Advisory Council members had shared their personal stories at a Lunch and Learn, demonstrating through their own real-life experiences of interactions with our staff using these tones, and what a tremendous impact it had on them and their children. But now we'd like to share with you the impact it had on our staff from their own words. Next slide, please, Lindsay. Thank you. So the feedback from the in-service, we had asked those that attended to complete an evaluation form, and it was a small form, and it was based on a Likert scale, 1 to 5, and 5 being excellent. So 97% of those that attended rated the educational value of the session as excellent. And they also took the time to write some comments for us and our presenters. And we just shared some of them here with you, but I mean, they're very powerful. Our staff shared very inspiring and encouraging to hear that what we do truly makes all the difference in our families and patients' lives. Thanks for helping to support our passion and purpose. We actually were able to bring our busy staff moving from task to task all day long, grounding them back to why they chose the work that they do and how important it is in our lives and in their lives. Thank you all so much for sharing your stories, especially the small moments that have such a large impact. And thank you for sharing. It helps us to do more to help our families. So very powerful statements that we really appreciated. Next slide, please, Lindsay. Another goal our Family Advisory Council had to support our hospital's high reliability organization Safety Together journey was to create and produce Safety Together patient, family, and staff videos. The videos demonstrated how staff and families collaborating together on safety can produce positive and lasting results. So we're really proud to share the first video with you, and this is about from one of our family advisors, Elizabeth Marquetta, and her son Tommy, on how by thoughtfully interacting with patients and their families, we can increase our reliability and deliver the best possible experience for our kids. So here's Elizabeth and Tommy.
At Children's Specialized Hospital, we know our safety always comes first because we have first-hand experience as partners in our safety. During Tommy's first appointment with Dr. Matthews, I spoke with her about Tommy's anxiety and how he startles easily. She invited me to brainstorm ideas with her on how to make Tommy feel safe and comfortable.
Okay, you ready?
Dr. Matthews now always makes sure to ask Tommy if she can examine him before she touches him.
Good job.
The first time Tommy used the therapy swing, he questioned how it was secured and if his therapist, Anna, was sure it would be able to hold him. Instead of just telling Tommy that he would be fine and to get on the swing, Anna took time to carefully explain how the hooks in the ceiling are reinforced to hold Tommy safely while swinging. Anna understood that for Tommy to be a partner in his safety, he needed to understand even the smallest details about his care. The security guards work with each patient and family to ensure their individual safety concerns are recognized and addressed. We have helped them understand that Tommy's anxiety won't allow him to ask for help from someone he doesn't know or trust. So they've made it a point to make a personal connection with Tommy so that he knows if he should ever feel unsafe, they will serve as a safe harbor. By thoughtfully interacting with Tommy and me, the staff at Children's Specialized has demonstrated that they value our partnership in safety.
Thank you, Children's Specialized, for keeping me safe.
So our second video is our family advisor, Sonia, and her daughter, Izzy, sharing how staff and patient and families work collaboratively to ensure a hospital environment as safe as possible.
The staff here at Children's Specialized Hospital works collaboratively not only with one another, but with patients and families as well. Izzy and I have firsthand experience working with the staff on keeping the hospital environment as safe as possible. Everyone who enters Children's Specialized walls must wear an identifying badge to ensure the safety of patients, families, employees, and visitors. Staff wear their employee badges, family wear their family badges, and visitors, of course, wear their visitor badges while in the hospital. By working together, wearing our badges, and speaking up if we see anyone in our hospital without a badge, we are partnering in safety together. Izzy has learned from the staff about the importance of returning family badges during our visit. Practicing appropriate hand hygiene is another way we have partnered with staff for safety. Employees at Children's Specialized Hospital encourage Izzy and me to ensure that they have washed their hands before entering our room or treatment area. They in turn encourage us to wash our hands or use hand sanitizer at the beginning and end of every therapy session. Even Burton, our therapy dog at Children's Specialized, practices hand hygiene. Through his handler Katie, we have learned that both staff and families need to sanitize their hands before petting Burton to keep everyone safe from germs and illness. Children's Specialized staff recognizes that we are in this together, and it's essential to empower patients and families to speak up for safety. Izzy and I know that safety is the top priority at Children's Specialized because they've partnered with us to ensure the safest environment possible for families like ours.
Thank you, Children's Specialized Hospital, for keeping me safe.
And our third video is from our family advisor, Chris Pearl, which demonstrates that when it comes to providing the highest quality care and the safest environment possible for patients, families, and staff, Children's Specialized Hospital values the insight and opinions of families, both present and past, and values that input so much that they are included at the table on our hospital's quality board.
when it comes to providing the highest quality care and safest environment possible for both families, patients, and staff. Children's Specialized values the opinions and insights of families both past and present. In 2009, my daughter Caitlin was hit by a drunk driver. She sustained a traumatic brain injury. We were admitted to Children's Specialized Hospital for the next 8 months. And even though she is now 30 and has aged out of the hospital's programs and services, I was invited to serve as a member of the Quality Board along with another family member whose child currently receives services at the hospital. Quarterly, we meet with members of Children's Specialized Leadership Team and several of the board members to speak about our quality scores and collaborate on how to prevent future harm by creating the safest environment possible for patients, families, and employees. Because of my firsthand experience as a father of a child who received services from Children's Specialized, hospital leaders like Vice President and Chief Medical Officer Dr. Matt McDonald understand that I can be a valuable asset in their journey towards becoming a high reliability organization. I know that safety is the top priority at Children's Specialized. The value the members of the Quality Board place on listening to the family voice and including our feedback and suggestions as true partners will ensure the safest environment possible for present and future patients like my daughter. I'd like to give a special thank you to Children's Specialized Hospital staff for keeping my daughter and other families safe.
Thank you. And just to share with you, our council, those are some of our Family Advisory Council members, but our council is made up of 15 families and 5 staff. So our marketing director is also on our council, who was very, very instrumental in helping us produce these videos. But she worked with us, and these were rolled out one at a time to staff and then shared with the community on our website, on our Facebook page, and on YouTube. So we're really proud of them, and I really enjoyed seeing them again. They were great. Next slide, please. Okay. And we would like to share with you that as a result of our HRO journey, Safety Together, we are seeing the positive effects in our Net Promoter Scores taken from our Press Ganey patient and satisfaction surveys. And as you all know, that's the likelihood of recommending our facilities. At the end of 2019, our Net Promoter Score was at 74.28%, and at the end of the first quarter 2020, we were at 81.42%. And we know it's every staff member, clinical, non-clinical, and family advisors contribute to this score and are making a significant impact on our patients' and families' positive and safe experience at our hospital. Next slide, please. So our culture at Children's Specialized Hospital is so important to all of us. We're all invested in it and in each other. Through the actions of our patients and families and staff, collaboratively and meaningfully working together, we have created a culture of safety together, and we are continuing on that journey. Everything Donna, Linda, and I have shared, and you can see on our slide, the patient and family staff video series, those daily huddles that we all take part in, rounding, the safety coach program, thoughtfully interacting staff in services, and our Safety Together training. All of us together, are what makes our culture such a wonderful place and giving our patients and families the best possible experience. It's really important to all of us here, and we value it. So thank you. Next slide, please. We'd love to hear your comments or any questions that you have about the work we've shared or our hospital.
Great. Thank you all for this presentation. It was incredible to see how even patients and family members are involved in the culture of safety at the hospital. So thank you for sharing those details and insight with us. I have a couple of questions, but we'll first get to one in the chat box from Kelly Goodson. How long have you been on your HRO journey? And what does HRO stand for? I must have missed that one.
Sure. It's High Reliability Organization, and we've been on the journey since 2018. So for the past 2 years.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you for that. One question I had, which I kind of saw illustrated in the videos as well, but how have I know I saw how family faculty were involved in kind of the development and education for the training or the safety tools. I'm curious how those safety tools are shared with all patients and their families, or if there is a process for sharing what the patients and their families and parents would see in terms of the safety tools that you shared with us.
Sure. Well, this is Pat. I mean, I can take a little stab at it, but I'm going to encourage Donna and Linda to join in as well. So at the hospital system, one of the representatives, and her name is Emily Hulu. I'm not sure of her role, what her title is at our hospital. But she oversees safety, and she came to our Family Advisory Council and actually, rolled out the whole high reliability organization kind of platform, if you will, and the tools. And she engaged in a conversation with our families, and they shared with her what they felt about the tools, how they thought they would impact families, suggestions to make them better, how to encourage staff to participate, how to encourage families. So that was one initiative. Our CEO comes to our quarterly Family Advisory Council meetings, and he also shares updates on the high reliability organization. And he shares everything. It's very transparent. Any events that happen, how they're handled, how our culture consists of a just culture. It's about making processes better, not about blame. So, there are, significant changes in our culture, and they are shared directly with the families.
And then I also want to share, I know Linda went over our huddle boards, that each department does at our outpatient sites. Those huddle boards are, in like a main hallway where like our patients and families can see them, right? Like we're transparent with all of our patients and families. We want them to know, what we're working on. We want their feedback and their input. So, we want to partner with them because it's the only way that we're going to be able to reach that zero harm.
Great.
And like Pat shared, all of these videos were shared with our social media. So that included our Twitter page, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, any outlet for social media that our families can access, they are able to see these videos. And family faculty, we work side by side with our staff, but we also interact daily with our patients and families, whether it's an inpatient, long-term care, or outpatient, and we talk to families about these processes that are put in place for their safety, because I'm a believer that if our patients and families understand the why, they're going to be so pleased to know that we are looking out for them to be safe and very well taken care of, and then they're going to want to participate. So we are transparent, and we're on the ground as families, working as staff, interacting with our families and supporting everyone.
And also, Lindsay, just with everything with the pandemic, before, we do have on-site visits now, but, before when we were virtual and then when we were getting ready to come back, to on-site visits, like our families were involved in, giving our CEO and president and marketing feedback on, the campaign of how to bring patients back safely. They were at the table. It wasn't something that was, designed without them, because, they were going to be the ones walking back into our facilities, and we needed to know also, in addition to us following regulations, what they needed to feel safe, to come back.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm so pleased to hear that, because your patients and families, they're a big part of that whole safety culture as well. And that's quite obvious by what you've described in your presentation today. A few more questions in the chat. Do your family faculty speak to medical students or trainees?
Donna and Linda, this is one of our favorite things that we do annually with we actually do it with first-year medical students from RWJ Rutgers Medical School, and we're just getting ready, organized for our first time doing it virtually, which is, very exciting. But yeah, they come and they spend about 4 hours with us, each group. So they just started in August. We'll have our first group in October, and they're young and very impressionable, so we take full advantage of that. So, design it that we do it in partnership with our staff. So we have a medical representative, therapy representatives, our rehab tech department, and family faculty. Our portion of the medical student part is to give them a chance to understand what it's like to be a patient and family going through something, but we also let them practice getting information from us and interviewing us so we can sort of critique them, let them know, oh, you made good eye contact. Oh, you were so warm and welcoming. It was so easy to talk to you, or encouraging them, don't be afraid, to let yourself be a little vulnerable and ask some questions and build those relationships with your patients and families. So, we get to share that component, and then also the philosophy of patient and family-centered care at our hospital, which we and it's well received by them, right, Linda? I know it's one of Linda's favorite.
I could tell.
Of the energy that they bring when they come here, because they just got their white coat, and so they're very proud to wear it. They teach us too. I have to say, how long have we been doing this? Almost 8 or 9 years with the medical students. And in the beginning, they didn't really fully understand what patient and family-centered care was. And now when they come in, I can tell you that their education has changed, that they have classes on family-centered care. And so I asked them, well, what have you learned in your class that you could share with me today? So we can tie it all together. And it's very rewarding, because I think that they love the opportunity to ask us questions. And pretty much everything is on the table, because we want to share to help them succeed, because, we want to see the medical community be as great as it can be, because at some point in time, we're all going to need a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we want to be able to be treated with family-centered care in mind. And then they get a wonderful tour of the hospital, where they actually get to see where our great engineers are that make, modify, adapt wheelchairs, walkers, because, every child here is unique. And so we have a team of people who addresses all of those needs along the way, and they can really kind of vision what it's like to be here. Of course, selfishly, we try to recruit. We try to say to them, do you want to go into pediatrics? I know you want to go into pediatrics. You don't want to be an OBGYN. But it's just a wonderful experience for us. And, we're transitioning to do it, through Zoom now, because we can't be in person with them, but the work will still be done.
Right. Good to hear you're still pushing forward even in the pandemic. That's awesome. Yeah, and I see Kelly's note in the chat, get them hooked while they're young.
Yes, Kelly, you got it.
Awesome. All right, we have another question from Bill. Do any patients, or I think family faculty for that matter, serve on the hospital or parent organization board of trustees?
Yes, we have families who serve on our board of trustees, as well as our quality board committee.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, great. Well, those are all the chat questions. Keep them coming. Bill says, excellent. That is excellent, having families and patients informing at the highest level. Yeah, participants, please keep those questions coming. We have plenty of time for discussion. I had another question for all of you. Diversity, equity, and inclusion has kind of been a thread for our conference. So I'm curious at Children's Specialized Hospital what you're doing as an organization, as family faculty members, to really create space for all to partner.
Sure, Lindsay. Great question. We have a diversity and inclusion committee. We probably have over 30 staff, and we have family representation on that committee as well through our family faculty. And, in light of everything that has transpired, across our country, their focus has been similar to what you did as your opening, to the conference yesterday, brave spaces is to having those conversations in small groups, with staff. We're actually providing a train-the-trainer program so that we can open it up, because we have 13 locations, across our state. We're not just, one facility. So we're looking at doing that as well. So education, training, making sure that we can have those small conversations in safe places as well. And Pat and Linda, do you want to add to anything?
No, just for me personally, I'm a family faculty, so I'm a family. I've brought my son here for services. I haven't really experienced, any problem like with diversity in my lifetime, but I was really made aware by attending different educational sessions at our hospital about, my own self. I became very self-reflective. I think it's helping me grow as a person and to recognize and appreciate the differences, we have. A thing that touched my heart that our hospital did participate in was that we all, got together and took a knee in honor of George Floyd. And I remember, I'm a little bit on the older side, on my knee for those minutes, I was shaking, just kneeling. It was so empowering to me, made such an impact, like what that man must have gone through by doing that. So I really appreciate these and the opportunity to just be honest and open so that we can have growth.
Yeah, it connects us and strengthens us, and again, creates a even stronger team. So the conversation sometimes may be hard or difficult, but in the end, if you keep in mind that it's going to help you grow as a person, like Pat said, it's powerful.
And definitely worth it. And it sounds like the organization is taking that really intentional process to do so. That's very impressive. Thanks for sharing. Norma asks, how long do families tend to hang around if not employed by the hospital, and how active are families? And Norma, if you could clarify, I think you're referring to the family faculty members?
Yeah, hi. So I work at Cedars, and we have patient family centered care. Unfortunately, we can't employ them. I mean, honestly, I can't speak to it because I don't know, the politics and all the hiring stuff. But the way we've done it is we've had families be part of our patient family centered care meetings and come in and talk about their experience and how we can improve. So I was just wondering if with the Children's Specialized Hospital group, are there ever any families that are not active employed or employees of the hospital that just come in, sometimes, or are part of the group?
I would point that to our Family Advisory Council, because they're not employed by the hospital. Our advisors, they represent our diverse population that we serve. And, they're a doer group. They're not only working on goals annually that they develop every year, but they're also giving input on processes and procedures, and programs that would affect them. So they give feedback, directly through me, to our president, our CEO, and to, the various directors of the hospital. And, I was chuckling at first when you asked your question, because when we started our council, we thought we were going to have to, ask people to step down off of the council and how that rotation was going to be. I mean, we've had some that, have served the whole 13 years that we've been in existence. Others have stepped down and there's been new blood, but, our families have a strong commitment to the hospital, and they serve on that as a voluntary basis.
Okay, so I guess, sorry. So then my question is, do you have a family that's been around for the entire time, like you said, or do you see some families just, that are active only during their hospitalization? Or do you have families that come back, when their child has either passed or... I have a few experiences with families who their children have passed, and I guess that's why I'm asking. And because, you know, initially they were a little more active, and then as time goes, I think maybe it becomes harder. I don't know.
Yeah, no, those are really, really great questions, and those are the kinds of things that are always on our mind too. We do have members that have been on the entire time we've been in existence. We're going to celebrate 14 years actually in November. And then, of course, we have new members that just joined. We always strive to have 15 families and try to keep them motivated. You know, they're valued, and they come up with goals, and they work to achieve those goals, and they are very much appreciated by our hospital. Our CEO is part of our council and one of our vice presidents, so they have that direct contact with them at their meetings. We do have members whose children have passed away, and they chose to continue on to help other families and to give back to the hospital that helped them so much. So we faced all those variables, just like you're saying, but I think the biggest component for us is the motivation of this meaningful work. They know it makes a difference. They just don't say things and they don't know where they land. You know, they see what they do and they see the impact it has. And the second part of it is Don and I are constantly recognizing the members of our council through notes, through phone calls, just sharing with them how much they are appreciated. And it's amazing how building those relationships and letting them know that just seems to drive them to do more. Amazing families we have on our council, extraordinary.
And also just to be open too to, you know, life happens, right? And some of it, we don't have control over what's gonna, you know, occur to us within our lives. So, you know, we just have open lines of communication. If they're not able to, you know, make a meeting because of something that came up with one of their children, or like that's okay. Like, it's just, you know, that we make sure that we have those open lines of communication. We've also had a few council members that, you know, have needed to take a few months off because of situations that were happening, and you know, we allow that as well. And, you know, if they're able to come back, we want to encourage them and support them. You know, if they do need to take a break, we allow them to do that as well too. You know, it's a very supportive environment. It does take a lot of nurturing, I'm sure, as you know, behind the scenes, to be able to continue to have, you know, families that want to be able to be engaged and committed.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to add one. I'm just so proud of our council, and you know, Donna's just a wonderful leader. You know, at our hospital, we have a leadership council, so it's more than just our senior leaders, it's others are involved in this. And our CEO is also at that meeting, and he consistently invites any member of this leadership council to attend our family advisory council. So our families get to meet people that are, you know, in the thick of everything involved at our hospital, and they come and they just are so amazed that our families are so generous with their time, their ideas, and the work that they do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Definitely speaks to the ebbs and flows of volunteering as a patient family advisor. I know I've talked to some who are really passionate, are all in and doing everything that they can to partner and be part of committees and projects and things like that. And then sometimes at a certain point, it can be a little too much, you know. You can take on too much. You can start to relive some of those older experiences that you may have gone through. So I think there definitely is kind of a natural ups and downs of programs like this. And I think you all explained that beautifully. I think we are wrapping up. I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat, but if there is more, please send them our way. I did, as we close out, want to just ask how things have been going at the hospital over the last 6 months during the pandemic. How are family faculty functioning? You mentioned that a little bit. Your advisory council, just how are things going?
Sure. You know, when everything hit, you know, us in March, you know, we reached out to the council members, and, you know, all of them, you know, without hesitation wanted to continue to meet and work on our goals and support the staff virtually. So, you know, I know that many councils haven't had similar experiences, but our council has kept going and has been meeting monthly and doing our work group meetings. And, you know, as a result of their dedication, you know, we're going to be able to achieve all of our goals, you know, come November at our quarterly meeting. So just really proud of that work. I think as anything that we do, you just have to be sensitive and support your families. My family faculty staff have had, varied needs depending upon what has happened with schools in our area, with daycare. So, we're just looking at trying to be as flexible as possible in altering schedules, making adjustments so that, they can continue to provide the services to our facilities, but also their number one priority is, caring for their child with special needs. So I'll turn it and let Linda and Pat if there's anything else that you want to add.
No, just a thank you to Donna publicly. I mean, she really supports all of us, and so it works. Without that flexibility, it would never work. And we're really grateful for that. So thank you, Donna.
Yeah, I can only echo what Pat is saying, that, throughout this whole pandemic, Donna is continually finding ways of injecting the patient and family's voice into all of the changing work that has gone on. Look, we transitioned from in-person visits to telehealth visits, and how are we going to communicate that to families? And Donna's always at the table saying, well, did we ask our families how best to communicate it to them? And so, we learned how to, how the process would be and how we could share this with our families so that they could think of it in a positive way. We can't be together on site, but you're going to continue to have that relationship with your clinician, and maybe now you need it more than ever. In terms of visiting, families visiting their child here, everything changed with having our visitors here. How are we going to share that with our families so that they can, accept that information and learn to rely on the hospital is going to take care of their child when they can't be present with them? It was that transition of going to Skype visits and FaceTime visits, but Donna's always there injecting the families into everything that we do. And for that, her leadership has just been phenomenal.
Thank you, guys.
Way to go, Donna.
We're a great team, right? You're only as great as the people you work with. So.
Well, we got a great leader in you. So congratulations on all of your incredible work and just keeping that momentum going over the last couple of months. That's really exciting, and excited for your hospital and organization and what's to come in the future for all that you guys are doing. So I think Bill wrapped it up really nicely in the chat. They are living their mantra, don't harm me, help me, be nice to me. So perfect way to wrap up. Thank you all so much. Thank you to our presenters today. Really appreciate you taking the time to share with us. And thank you to all of the participants too for some really great questions as well. I put the next session in the chat. It's our final session for the conference and action planning session happening in a little over 5 minutes. So we hope to see you all there. And that will do it for us. Thank you again to our presenters from Children's Specialized Hospital.
Thank you so much, Lindsay, for all your support. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. And thank you for everyone who.
Of course. We'll talk to you soon. And if we didn't get to questions, we can come back to those in follow-up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.